So, when we last left our heroes, um, you had just rescued journeywoman Miranda de from um, bondage within the Phelan domains and returned her to Triskelion and gotten your payment from the College of Dunwasser. Um,
Indeed, indeed.
Now, you owe most of this back to your creditors in Harrowsgate, but while you're in Triskelion, um, a job offer reaches you.
Ooh.
Ooh.
But anyway, who are you and read mottos and goals?
Well, I guess I can start us out. I am Lady Maxima Josephine Vivian Rinaldi I, or just plain Max, and I have the goal to acquire a title of nobility. Apart from that, the only thing I have to do is smelt down those bunny dots or those silver earrings that we got. Or I got.
All right. Well, you can find somebody willing to do that for a fee.
Sure. Here comes
I'll
the
go ahead and go
money.
next then. I'm playing Caesar the Small, the Raven Elementalist, and Doctor. He has a cure for all ailments, and right now he actually has completed all of his goals.
All right.
I am playing the very Bint Heret, the Warlord. Her personality is overconfident. And let me go check my goals real quick. Okay, my motto is my destiny is beyond your ken, and I see no motto, not no goals yet. Yes, I am goal free.
I'm playing
Alright.
Unibald Kim, the Badger Engineer Warlock, whose motto is haven't prepared for failure, prepared for anything at all. And no goals.
All right. Hold on. Everyone is pretty quiet on here, and I need to figure out what's wrong with my sound. But so while you're in town, let's see. Somebody at the Dunwasser mentions that they had somebody going around asking for exotic messengers, particularly foreign nobles willing to do a job for some money. Something
Exotic
about
messengers, wow.
Chalon-sur-Salier, the horse capital. They need a message delivered inside the city limits, where you need like noble permissions to get through the door.
That's quite the opposite direction we were intending to go, but it is easy money.
And money you can charge a lot more for, too. Or a task that you could charge more money for, too. Okay, how many foreign nobles you got laying around willing to take a message somewhere, huh?
The GM, just so you know, Rujek, as he's a cavalier, my ally, he is also noble, and I don't think he can read either.
I'm sorry. Something about Rujak.
Yeah, he's also a noble. I think he might be related somehow to Nefero, if you want to put it that way, since...
All right, Cadet
he had that
branch of
career.
the house. I don't actually know that much about Athasian, or is it
Tacoma.
Athasian?
It's a coma.
A common nobility.
Neither do I, but I do believe that they would have adopted signet rings just like, other nobles have, because, that would be a very Egyptian thing to do, is have a signet ring. And so even the steep warlords, which I would assume is she's something like, a roving band of warlords, and they're marauders. So they probably have adopted the same sort of thing.
Let's see. Do the Zongongese use a similar method?
They probably have some form of jewelry or dress code that marks them as noble. Like in Europe, you couldn't wear blue unless you were a noble. I think that was real. I'm not sure.
Yeah, something about the inks being expensive.
Yes.
All right. So, if you stick around in town for a bit, somebody tracks you down and gives you a letter written in what you believe is a Coman script.
Oh joy! So wow. We are in Triskelion.
Yes, we are in Triskelion.
All right. Neferu will use her gossip skill to find someone in the city, perhaps in an embassy, who can read it for her.
All right. Roll gossip.
Would that be mind or will? They're both the same die. It doesn't matter, but I'd like to know what to label it.
Yeah, mind.
I think I'll have to exhaust the ability for that.
All right. Well, you demand to see the damn it. You just said it. I'm blanking on
Embassy?
Yeah. All right, you demand to see the embassy. You go in. They are very respectful, and they will read off the letter. Basically, they have. It is in a very poor occasion. No,
A Coman?
occasion. A
So
Coman.
it's written in low script. There is like a high and a low script. I think the gift of
written
literacy will
in
get
like somebody who does not speak it.
Oh, that kind of poorly written.
Yeah.
So the grammar's all wrong. Okay.
Yes. But somebody is making a effort to appeal to your provincial pride. I'm sorry.
My loyalties.
Yeah. They basically want a message delivered from inside one house to another without publicly revealing what house it came from.
All right.
Your letter doesn't say what the message is, but it gives somebody to contact in Chalon sous Salir.
Okay, she'll tell this to Rujek, so she's got two minds remembering it.
All right.
Rob and Don are outside because this is noble business and they're not nobles. It's bad enough that she's got to get this person to read it for her, but that can't be helped. She can't kill him. So, does this letter mention any reward for this task?
Only in vague terms.
Well, that's to be expected. She'll take Reject and Don and Rob back to where everybody else is been congregating. I guess we're at the Three Spears or some other possibly less expensive inn. I don't think they have any named.
Well, there's probably a place that we've been staying. We might even be welcome at Dunwasser for a little while.
I mean, you did just rescue one of their journeymen.
Yeah, so
And if absolutely necessary, my home is still here if you are willing to crowd onto the floor. If staying somewhere is truly what's the issue here.
Although having spent a lot of time in Harrow's Gate and in Falon Lands, your landlord is wanting to know if he can rent your room out.
Oh dear. Well, it is nice to be able to come back to Triskelion and have a place to actually stay. I'm trying to remember. I don't have very much in the way of actual delicate materials in my home, do I? I don't have very much of anything, so I suppose that they can go ahead and end up renting it out while I'm not there. Sure. I won't put up a fight over it.
All right. So, all right. So, any other plans?
well, the only thing I want to do is melt down that silver.
All right. So, um, you find somebody willing to do it for call it 10%. No, 20%. One of those numbers.
Oof, 20%, eh? Well, I guess so. I'm not very good at negotiating, so, and I don't know any fences here, so yeah, okay.
All right. So some fox who works the forge and forges you some coins, or at least
Not just coins, just put them into. Oh, he can't forge coins because only the official mints can do that. He just melts it down to base silver,
yeah.
so that's fine. I mean, he'll probably pour it into a little. Not that I calculated the weight or anything, but it would be about 1/4 the weight of a standard ingot. So, but yeah, that's what I have, and I'll say thank you, Foxy Brown.
All right. So he is able to get you disc shaped, unstamped discs of silver.
He's not willing to put it in an ingot.
Well, he just happened to have this lying around.
What kind of interesting fellow would happen to have discs? Well, it's none of my business whether or not you're running forgery operations. I guess I'll just take it in the base silver.
All right. Say no more. Say no more.
So yeah, I'm just calculating. I'll need raw materials if I want to have jewelry made. So that's my thought.
All right. So
But yeah,
you would actually prefer he didn't disc it.
that's correct.
All right.
Oh, while we're in town, and after the Pharaoh tells possibly Max the letter she received.
Oh, okay.
Or
That's a-
actually 3.
Ooh, you've gotten a lot of mail.
Indeed. And I had to get someone else to help me read it because you don't know this script in these lands here. So,
Well, Max
and
will
then
take
she'll
the
explain the
letter.
contents of the letter.
She'll take the letter and kind of turn it upside down and shake it and say, "Wow, I bet it says something important because I can't read either. I'm sorry."
Oh, I've gotten somebody else to read it for me. So here is, and then she'll tell her about the job in transferring a letter, it was, or a message to Shalom Soler.
Hmm. Well, if it's a job and it pays, it's totally fine by me, though it seems a little strange.
Well, sometimes you can't trust the actual courier guild. So there is that.
True. And I mean, if they need a noble to transport it, then
Yes.
yeah, we should charge up the nose for it.
Yes, it is rather vague about what rewards were to be received. So if one of us was better at negotiating price, and she'll trail off
Let's
there.
see. Well, let's see. I forget if Max has negotiation or not. One sec.
I'm thinking the Pharaoh might
No.
take haggling to kind of become a mini mercenary.
Yeah. I don't have haggling. I only have my mind as a D8. So Max would be like, I could totally help you. I have a defiant personality. Whatever they're trying to screw us out of, by gum, I'll get us a better deal.
Thank you.
So,
But
are you raising this in Fabrizio's presence?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say so.
He's a noble.
Alright.
And so is Max as far as the Pharaoh knows.
So,
Yeah, totally.
he mentions that the Avupoi, from what he learned as a child, they are deeply religious and very honor bound types. There may be church politics involved in this.
Oh. That's smart thinking there, Sam. Well, either way, I know the church is loaded, so
Indeed it is.
just out of curiosity, does anybody in the party have negotiation or anything like that?
Yes, I do have some points in negotiation.
I do not yet.
Because I would suggest, yeah, it's like Max is totally willing to help, but not very, like, yeah, something I'm not very good at, but I'd totally be willing to assist. I'm just, getting some silver so I could have some jewelry done and maybe some gold too. Dang it, gold's expensive.
I mean, if someone brings it up that they should probably have a negotiator at this meeting, probably drag Kunabald into it. So far,
Well,
it seems.
just to let everybody know once, Max and Fabrizio have gone over it. Oh yeah, Sam is his pseudonym.
Yep. Well, I will then, I guess, go to our crash pad with the news of this interesting, excited now. Hey, we got a job.
Great,
Another
much is
one.
paying.
That's that depends on how good we can maybe negotiate it. Maybe simple
So-
delivery job. We just take this letter, we bring it to the horses, and boom.
So 2 letters going out to the horses then.
Yes.
Oh.
Are we sure it's the same letter?
Actually,
Well,
this
I definitely
letter
are.
told you to pick up a different letter inside Horselands.
So we're mail carriers.
Well, at the
And
very least, a walk there and walk back
Well,
is
that
as
would
easy
seem
to get,
fitting.
right?
walk.
I just have the terrible feeling we're about to be pawns in some terrible game as well. But all right.
This does bring to mind, perhaps I should send a letter to our creditors that will be gone, what, another 2, 3 weeks? I'm sure they'll get
This is the smart
anxious if
thing
I
to
tell
do.
them nothing.
I suppose it's about time for us to have a meeting with this other party. See if we can't negotiate a price for our services.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. Max will help totally.
Does the letter have a return address or something?
It gave the location in Challenger Salir, where you could get more information.
Well, I suppose we'll have to walk there first then. Well, it's a good thing we're heading there already.
Fair enough.
All right. Did you want to do anything other than send a letter as far as your creditors go? And particularly concerning the money you have lying around to pay your creditors?
Indeed. I'm going to. My assumption right now is that it probably wouldn't be a good idea to just hand the money over to someone and then have them run over with it.
I mean, that's what you guys were for the last time you were in Triskelion.
hmm So that would be a poor idea, so we'll have to do it eventually. But I will write up a courteous letter to the tune of, "Our dearest creditors, fret not. We have your money, and it shall be delivered post haste. However, business draws us elsewhere, and we shall return to Harrow's Gate within the whatever amount of time it is assumed that will take to walk from Triskelia to Shalon and all the way back."
All right, and this is not a too uncommon of a situation. Um, there are bank vaults where you can put it down as owed to somebody else.
hmm
Yeah, they could pick
Oh,
it up.
right. I could actually leave it here and send them a letter of credit, perhaps, but I'm not quite sure about the security of that. I just don't know what the normal mode of operation would be for such a thing.
Uh,
Well, if the
there is concerns about trade imbalance and actual money going from one country to another.
hmm
So they are going to want coins back eventually.
Right. So, but my own promise that it will be there within X amount of time should be enough to at least sate them, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I will draft such a letter and send it out, and perhaps even
All
get
right.
assistance if it needs to be particularly honeyed.
Um, go ahead and roll it.
Okay, what would I be rolling here? Academics
Yeah,
or something else?
academics and etiquette if you have it.
Nope, not at all.
Mind.
Let's see, what was my mind again? Just a d6. Cool. Plus 1d8, plus 1d10. And let me just do a quick browse. Do I have anything I can throw at it? Nope, nothing except administrator.
Hell, we'll toss that in.
Okay. It's like, I am good with money, I swear it. The swearing is about all that matters.
I could swear quite a bit too.
I do math good.
All right, so you bury them in spreadsheets.
Just take a look at these meticulous records. Look, we even
All
paid all the
right.
mercenaries. They won't come hassle you about it.
Okay, so that's dealt with. Um, so are we fast forwarding?
I
Fine by me.
think so. If there's no opposition.
All right, cameraman, get ready to swap screens. Swapping to capital.
That looks like
Yay.
a hoof print.
Make sure.
Yeah, maybe pink as well.
All right. So, the place you're supposed to get the letter is actually inside the walls, to be delivered inside the walls. You are the gate is as usual guarded. Let's see if all freedmen and slaves are charged an entrance fee of 1 dinar to use the gate unless they can obtain a pass. Enfranchised nobles who can impress the guardsmen may enter without paying the toll.
Okay,
I'll
so
just pay him.
Neferu
Yeah,
and
path of least resistance. I actually gave everyone money last time, if you recall, so you should have some to pay this.
Yay, money.
Okay.
well, Neferu and Rujek will try to get through by flashing their signet rings, and we'll pay for it on Rob.
All right. The horse nobles watching this are somewhat skeptical. You're not from around here. See,
No,
are
but
you
does
going to
that?
try and convince them, or are you just gonna pop nobility?
Well, Neferu can't pop the ability. What can I roll to impress them? Presence?
Yeah.
I have a D8, and that would be will and presence.
Sure.
And let's see. Presence came from career, not from species, so I'm not gonna have Rujek roll it. And I don't think oratory would have helped, would it? Because that's more public speaking.
I mean, you are trying to convince people in public.
But yeah, so
I
she's going to
ask
go
you
full on Braveheart and give tales of her different victories and battles in Acoma and how she led her troops. So yeah,
Go
I'll do
ahead.
a oratory. That'll be a D12.
All right.
That might be a success, depending on what he rolls. Although, do I have person? I also am overconfident personality. I'll claim that if I need to. Alright, he
That's
blocks
enough.
my 4, but I get a 6.
All right. So he is somewhat skeptical, but it looks at your rings, but lets you in.
And her fine mounts. All 4 of them are mounted. So that makes a very commanding presence, I would assume.
All right. And there's some stables inside the wall to handle your lizards.
Excellent. How much does that cost for the 4 mounts?
Does somebody have the services table available?
I could in a moment.
All right, we'll just go for market rate.
Let's see.
Should be on pages 106 and 107.
There's for hiring out the transport. Not quite for just stabling.
Well, they probably would give them travel grub. It would be meat for the types of mounts I have. And let's see what else.
Yeah, if you've got war mounts, that's going to be rather expensive to contain.
Yes. Well, I have 7 dinars, so let's hope it doesn't cost too much.
Yeah. Did you go for a full um did you go for full Destriders or something like Palfreys or Genets?
They're spheres, but they're not the ones with frenzy.
All right, so not a Rinaldi Destrider. All right.
Right.
Okay, so I'm thinking those are going to be two denarii a day per mount.
All right, so that would be shit. I'm gonna need to borrow some money. 1 dinar needs to be borrowed so I can see all the amounts. That's what happens when you have to split your money, 4 ways.
All right. So, the direction you were given, and I presume you have a good memory, and or Griffin has a translation on hand.
Indeed.
It's a unlabeled building. Not in the best part of inside the walls, but it's nowhere near the slums outside.
Okay, well,
So
which one do we head
once
to
you're
first?
in, they ask one of the horses inside the building asks why you're here.
Business.
What kind of business?
We've got ourselves a delivery to make, or pick up, or something.
Courier services. Right.
Ah, yes, a delivery. One moment, and he sends off a messenger. Someone else comes back with a letter, and says it should be discovered in the Archduchess's palace.
We should deliver it to the Archduchess?
If you feel that's the best way for it to be discovered.
What do you mean,
No one's
discover?
supposed to know. I see.
Ah. Well, Max will crack her fingers and say, it's always been a challenge to try to sneak into a ducal palace before.
Uh,
What could possibly go wrong?
other
But
than everything.
can we take the goal of successfully deliver the letters?
Sure.
Okay. And deliver them could mean place them or hide them or make it seem like they were discovered by chance, etc.
Yeah.
So this is the. So we have another letter where we're still negotiating a price for, right?
I believe that was perhaps this one.
Was it this one? Oh. I remember there were two. I'm trying to figure out which is which here.
Well, this was the one where we had to go to grab it up, right?
Oh yeah, you're right. We had to go to grab it up at the.
So if
Okay.
anyone was wanting to negotiate, now might be the time to ask what we're actually getting from this. What's worth the risk?
Yes, we'll leave that up to Queen of Ball. He's got the negotiation.
Indeed.
All right. Who's assisting him?
Max, of course, will be. Because why not? Yeah, just wait till my buddy here talks about what you're gonna owe us. It's gonna be great, right? No, you don't get any bonus dice from me.
All right. So it's.
Quiet, Max. Shut up.
A success.
Do you happen to have the gift of haggling?
Not at the moment.
Ooh.
Although that might be a good one to pick up.
Oh, definitely.
So this isn't a pretty negotiation unless somebody wants to pop nobility.
Neferu?
Nefarious already done a blue jack because he can now speak Calabrian will. Let me go check his skills.
Does he give us a starting number at least, or?
He has he has leadership, melee combat, and riding. So nothing special there. So I'm just rolling ability and mind. Where's it will?
In this case, I'd say will. All right, so you got the same negotiation. Again, not that great, but between the two of you, you were able to get something semi-reasonable. Something like 2 gold for the delivery.
Wow.
It's not bad.
2 gold for each of us?
No.
The double drop.
Yeah, it's like 50 denarii. That is probably more reasonable to expect.
Ah, okay.
Single Oriole is worth 24. denarii.
24?
Yeah, a gold coin in Oriel is worth 24 denarii.
All right, so that's much more fair than I was anticipating. But
Yeah.
we still have the problem of getting in, and where was this first letter to go to anyway? The one that doesn't require the being dropped off surreptitiously.
Hmm.
Um, it, the letter that you're hired to come here to deliver is the one that's dropped off surreptitiously.
I thought there was a second letter involved all along, wasn't there?
No, that was the written in the language none of you understand, telling you to come here.
I could have sworn there was one we were delivering to here. Oh well. So, I guess now's the time to just sort of get familiar with what we're going to do then. Who wants to start off with some
And
thoughts?
the letter that you're being sent to deliver isn't actually sealed, just
Aha.
folded.
So that means we can read to see what it says.
Yes, let's read this tale of unrequited love right here.
After we
This
get
feels
out
a
of
severe
eyesight, I'm
breach of
sure.
etiquette. I will not be involved.
No, I'll open it up right in the middle of the street.
Well, they did want it to be found.
All right, so there is a short message along with a couple lists. The first message is a veiled threat of the "we know what you did" type attached to the list. One list contains a bunch of names. Second list, a series of names and places matched to an accounting of payments. And the third list has the names on the first list and matches them with individuals on the second list.
Aha.
Wonder
Well,
what
I
this
guess
is
we're
all
helping.
about.
Guess we're helping in extortion at this point.
Well, we're only accomplices if we know what's in there, and if we just simply pretend, well, it's already too late.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing.
Well, now that we're in for a penny, let's go in for a pound. So, I presume the Grand Duchess here that it's going to doesn't normally take just random visitors off the street.
No.
Tell us about the place where she is, her palace here. Is it the entire second tier, or is it just the singular building here? I think.
One moment. I had it open to the right section, and then I looked up Genets and Destriders. So curse you. Anyway, Calabria. Le Château d'Avopoil, located as the center of the largest city. This is the oldest functional castle in Calabria. Let's see.
Well, here's the other thing too. If we deliver a note that says like, we know what you did, I'm pretty sure she would try to get us arrested.
Hence why I believe they suggested we not be seen delivering it. Or, in
Yeah.
fact, it being noticed being delivered at all.
Well, I could distract her at the front door, just acting like I'm here visiting and I want to get to know her culture, and I decided to ask her about it.
Well, I'm
All
still
right.
trying to figure out like which of these buildings is our objective. Figure out what it's like and where we are right now.
Yeah, do they have an address?
Yeah, Castle Avupoi should be where the Duchess lives. The Avenue of Heroes is also on the plateau. That's just a bunch of statues lining the street.
Which of these is which? Is that number 2 and number 1?
Number 2 is the Avenue of Heroes.
Okay.
Number
And
3 is the Basilica of Saalamer,
mhm,
which is the largest church in Calabria.
okay. And whereabouts are we right now? In the lower city or in that higher city?
We are call it around there.
Okay. So I'm gonna just draw a circle. All right. So we're about there, and we have to get up there into the rich part first. Then the castle is number 1, right? Still
Yeah.
trying to clarify that. Okay. And from there, we have to somehow deliver the letter. So, what ideas do we have, and what's in our way? Is access to that upper city restricted? I believe you said it was, wasn't it?
Um, let's see. Number 13 was the main gate that you already passed.
Mhm.
Yes. I think number
Oh.
9 is the upper city.
Number 9 is actually a racetrack around the walls.
Oh,
The entertainment.
upper 6 maybe?
Does 17? Oh yes, there is actually a sky bridge, an impressive feat of Avupoi engineering. This enormous suspension bridge connects the Basilla to the city over a long wooden bridge, maintained at no small expense. The bridge
Undoubtedly.
charges a toll of 1 dinar for commerce across it, although it is open freely to the public on Damash.
Sunday.
So it does sound like the upper city is commoner accessible.
Right, accessible for that same dinar fee to get in the first place.
Yeah.
Okay. So we can at the very least wander up there whenever we wish.
Or we could go on church day for free.
Well,
That's what
we already paid to get in, so we're already here, really.
True.
We would just take that second little path over there all the way around. Looks like a little bit of a walk, but we can take it. Um,
It's like this was originally built as a defensive fortification or something.
I know,
Mhm.
right? But now might be the time to try to actually scout out the castle itself if we get up there then. And at least figure out how we want to get in, how we want to get to our target, how we want to drop off the letter.
All right. So, the old building, especially the castle, are built with actual defense in mind, but a lot of the newer structures up on the plateau are of the flying battlements, fancy Gothic style.
Hmm. Super fancy.
Well, we could just walk. I have the cash for it, but I'm totally fine either way.
Well, again, the cache isn't the problem. We can get in there very easily. The point is getting into the actual castle itself where the Duchess is.
Well, Sam will kind of, or Max will kind of pull everybody over conspiratorially and say, like,
Mhm.
I'm not a burglar, but I've been around the block a few times, I guess you could say. So, I mean, it's theoretically possible I could get in there, but it would be pretty tricky, I think.
Well, what would you need to do in order to succeed?
Well,
What would
first
have
you
to
have
happen?
to, well, you'd have to climb some sort of wall or battlement or something, and then you have to not get spotted. And then once you get up to where you want to get into, you have to be able, if it's unlocked, you're golden. If not, you got to break in. And then once inside, you have to stealth around. And that's once it's delivered, you have to come back out. So ideally, you could do it that way, or you could be the sneaky route of maybe she has a party. Maybe you could get invited to it and then steal away some time and yeah.
That would be a very simple way to get in, and at least give us some room to maneuver once we're inside.
So is this
I would propose two possible alternatives. The first being we could always be servants if there's no party going on. If we manage to disguise ourselves, or perhaps even get hired onto the staff somehow.
sorry? Is
Who
this
knows if that's even possible, but a suggestion. And another
Are
would
you
be
asking around?
no. This is just suggestions. I'm just throwing out plans, brainstorming. The other one would be if there's any kind of secret passage in this old castle mountain, there might be an entrance somewhere that's not the castle that we can use to get in. And perhaps it is not guarded well.
well? Also, is this the one we're delivering this liver to? Is it literally the lord of this castle that is, by extension, the controls the town?
So the Archduke controls the nation, but the
Right.
Metropolitan
Archduke.
is, think of it as the mayor of DC.
So beyond just simply a party, there should be some sort of days where the Archduke and Archduchess hold court. That would be another avenue of at least entrance into some public areas, which would ease in us finding ways to mill about as servants. We can figure out what days he holds court.
All right.
So which of these appeals to you, Max, since you'll be our, not burglar?
Um, well, like I said, that's more of a specialized thing. I can sneak around decently enough, but maybe the best option is to see if we can get invited inside legitimately, and then one of us just sorts of floats off and does their thing.
I like this
Precisely.
plan as well.
So, I suppose the first thing to do would simply be to ask around about social events and the castle.
This sounds
Alright.
like a little bit of gossip work.
Indeed, it does.
And are you also doing any research on the names on the list?
I don't want to
That
get
might
deeper
be
involved in this
relevant.
than I
I can't read.
want.
What would that require? A different gossip check, or an academics to look them up, or...
Either one.
Okay, I'll go ahead and do an academics check to just see what the names on the list are. I got one success.
Well, even one success is enough to pick up that these were Monophysite heretics, many outlawed by the church.
Hmm.
Monophysite?
Monophysite. So
Monophysites?
Yeah, Monophysite.
yeah,
Weird that they named an actual Christian.
Yeah, I know, right?
terrorist.
That's actually a thing.
That's. Oh. Oh, man. There's a lot of baggage attached to Eastern Rome there. Single nature of God. Good Christ. I digress.
I mean, your character has the academics to know about this stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah, the first list had those names. Second list, bunch of names and places matched to accounting of payments. And the third list matches the heretics of the first list and matches them with the individuals in the second in a clear progression out of Avopoi's lands. In short, it is proof that the Archduchess has, for several years, been aiding and abetting the flight of heretics from church justice.
Da 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 da.
This should suck.
Could it be she's a heretic too?
Now, this isn't a cease and desist. This is a, we know what you've done.
Yeah, right. This is a blackmail.
Oh, yeah. That was obvious from the initial reading.
Well, at least we know the context a little more. And I suppose now is the time for everyone's gossip checks.
Yeah.
Perhaps I'll throw out one to assist as well, because I can at least throw 2d6 out for that.
All right. So, what do you got? What kind of stuff are you gossiping for?
More
The
or less-
social life around the castle, of course.
All right.
So here's my assist check to whoever's making the main roll.
I got 2 dice in gossip. I can do it.
You get one success from me for my 3.
Here
Oh, yeah, actually, I did
as well.
So
See? Oh, never mind. I don't have an assist.
Well, 2 successes is still 2 successes.
Very true.
Favored use?
Well, that was for the assist die.
All right. Well, can you roll favored use on a die you get from assist? I thought yours was the 8-7.
Yeah, mine were.
And it would be 8-7-1. Or do you even have the skill?
I have gossip.
All right.
Well, let's see. What is my favorite for gossip?
Not that it is entirely necessary. It's just wondering whether you get 3.
I don't have a favored use. So what would be a favored for gossip?
Nobility, social life, parties.
Let's consult the book.